Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy burstzgyt back here. Today we have both Gamma 1 and 2 ready and in hand to review, and I've just got to say, I think Tamashii kind of killed it with these guys. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'll hold off for when we get into the review. Quick things, there were some recent reveals and whatnot about, some Ssj Figuarts products for Goku kits, Bleach, One Piece, and all that good stuff. If you want to check those videos out, you can wait till the end of the video to click one of the links, or you can go check it out later or whatever. Also, check the description. I'm reworking the Discord, trying to get it more up to date with what we're doing on the channel. And yeah, if you want to follow me on there, do that, as well as TikTok, Instagram, and all that good stuff, all in the description. But without further ado, let's get straight into this review. Alright, so first things first, let's unbox and get straight into showcasing the Gohan accessories that come with Gamma 1. You get those 3 faces for Super Saiyan as well as the Super Saiyan hair. And yes, in case you were wondering, the DL Customs faces do fit, they just don't really match color-wise with the eyebrows and the hair having 2 different, color tones. I will say there is a little bit of a gap that you can notice on the Super Saiyan head with the face plates, but I'm not sure if that really is a deterrent if you were wanting to get these. It's only noticeable really like when you're, looking at it really close, but other than that, it feels pretty standard. Alright, so very quickly before we get into Gamma 1's overall articulation, I did just want to take a quick look and showcase Gamma 1's cape. Now, it is a harder plastic, but that's not necessarily a big deterrent. You can move it side to side, and it'll still hold the position very well. That top portion is a lot softer for plastic, so you can bend it really well and kind of move this cape as you kind of need it to be. Now, I did try to test it out a little bit, and you'll kind of see that between Gamma 1 and 2 a little bit later, but you can get it to look like, in a dynamic position and still kind of keep those really cool poses, and it works very well. So what they did here, I gotta give them some applause for. Alright, so quickly jumping into it, let's go over Gamma 1's articulation. Now, as you'll see with the head, standard articulation with left, right, up, down. I will say, when you take the head off and you kind of notice the type of peg here, it's a little weird trying to straighten it out so you can properly move his head back and forth, because you don't always want that neck piece there to kind of poke out and be exposed. It's a little hard to kind of fidget with sometimes, but for the most part you can get it back aligned pretty evenly. This particular peg that they've got there will only head swap with Gamma 2, obviously, and it's possible you might be able to take that top piece off and put other heads on it, but I don't know why most people would anyway. I mean, this is like for joking purposes, I guess. But his arm articulation for both Gamma, and when I talk here, I'm talking about both Gamma 1 and 2 since they relatively have pretty much the same exact thing. Very great articulation on the butterfly joint here. Get the arms fully across, and those little shoulder pad pieces there, be careful of those if you're replacing the arms or just generally messing around that shoulder part. They will fall off pretty easily, but they're pretty easy to put back on. Now, as you'll see with the elbows, he gets very great range of motion, a lot better than I've seen with most of the newer figures. So I mean, you're getting a great deal of range here, and just overall you're going to be able to put him in a lot of really great dynamic positions. As you see there, you've got your standard, hand articulation, left, right. You can twist it, goes back and forth, etc. Now, getting into the lower body portion of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, technically, you'll notice just how really high they can get their legs up, and they can get almost into a full split as well. I think that potentially, if you take the belt off, you could get him all the way there, but that plastic also with the skirt portion of it is also very, very thin and very, very easy to bend and move around. And as you see with the ankles here, it is on a ball point right there. It's not too bad. It does pop off if you put too much pressure on it in terms of moving it from side to side or just generally pulling it down, so do be a little careful, but it's easily able to be put back in. And there also is toe swivel, and as you can see there, he's almost able to get into a full split, and that plastic is very flexible. Now, something really special with Gamma 1 and 2 is this ab crunch here. Very great range of motion for it. Now, a lot of people I know will not like to have those type of pieces exposed like that, but something about for Gamma 1 and 2, I feel like it just works really well, and it doesn't really bother me too much that it's exposed like that, but just because of the overall design, I feel like it's fine. But as well as just the character in general, I think that them having that range of motion is completely necessary, and it just works so well for them both. Now next up, we'll take a look at all of the accessories, basically meaning the gun as well as the head. And as you can see here, I'll say this first, I wish he would have gotten a smiling face or a smirk or something. I feel like that's kind of missing from him. I know the personality of Gamma 1 is a lot more serious and focused, while Gamma 2 is more joyful and kind of a show off a little bit. But I feel like he could have gotten a smiling expression, you know, just to have, but you know, it's fine. Overall, the heads look great. They're not too shiny or anything like that, too reflective, and the paint, I feel they did a good job. Now, when I initially saw like the product photos from last year, I was kind of worried if they were going to be, you know, super shiny and whatnot with the paint, but it looks fine here, and it just works really well across the board with them. Now next up, I really have to talk about this crossed arm piece that I forgot to mention. Now, it took me a little bit to get it in there, but I will say it does look really nice on Gamma 1. They also fit in Gamma 2. Just be careful when you're trying to put it in that you don't accidentally pop out that shoulder piece. It can be popped in again, but it just pops out so frequently for me when messing around with that portion of the arm. I do like what they've been doing a lot with the, you know, crossed arm pieces lately. For Turles, it's very easy to pop in. For some of the older Android based characters like Android 17, 18, 21, very easy to get in there. Sometimes I have a problem with the Vegeta crossed arms, I'll be honest. Those ones kind of rough me up a little bit, trying to make sure they're aligned and stuff like that. Same for Jiren, but that's another topic. Overall, crossed arms are good. Glad they fit on Gamma 2 and 1. And yeah, let's get straight into the next piece of this. Talking about this gun, it's actually really cool what they did here. So they made one gun just fit into the holster so it doesn't fall off. As you can see there, the actual holster is on a little peg, you know, that you can kind of see there, and it can go in a full 360. Really cool stuff. The other gun obviously is just more of the prop for the hand to go into. And I do like that they included this as an option, that way so you can get into poses without having to worry about the gun falling out so much. That makes things a whole lot simpler. However, I do think that they should have included some kind of effect piece, no matter how small, just something that fits on the gun, because, you know, more stuff just specifically for him would be great. But anyways, let's get into the next part of this review, which is Gamma 2. And Gamma 2 comes with, oh boy, a good deal of accessories, but they're for Gohan. So we're gonna take a quick look into Gohan stuff, and then we'll go over Gamma 2. His articulation and mostly everything is pretty much the same when it comes to comparing Gamma 1 and 2 together, so I won't take too long going over that. Now, first things first, Gohan with the base head and the glasses. Now, I opted not to take the glasses off because from what I've seen, it can be a little bit difficult to put them back in sometimes, just like Android 21's. So I opted not to mess with them, but you can kind of see, and I'll kind of try to zoom in a little bit there. There is a little slot for them to kind of clip into, it looks like, and that's kind of why I opted not to mess with them. You can take them off, you know, once again, and there are a couple of deal custom heads, or not heads, but faceplates that kind of fit on this hair, but I really wouldn't risk like trying to jam him in there. I think Tamashii should have made a way for, you know, us to have more customization there. But getting into this cape, I love the cape, but I don't like it at the same time. You can't keep it in any good posing. Like, as you can see there, it just flops down. They clearly did very well with Gamma 1 and 2. They've done well with Piccolo before. Don't know what happened here. It's a little bit disappointing because this makes me not really want to use it, and I know there's ways around it to kind of make it still stand up, but you shouldn't have to do all, you know, any do-it-yourself things to get the articulation out of it. I do like that the top portion of it is soft plastic. I like that they're going that route for a lot more things. as that does kind of make it a little bit easier to take the heads off and pop them on and off without having to worry about like hard plastic being broken or anything like that. And as you can see there, the Ssj and base heads do look good on it though, so that's the plus out of all of this. Now I might just kind of put this on ×2 for you guys to kind of see, because all of the articulation is exactly the same on this figure. Nothing's too different, except the colors really, and obviously the head. And again, the head swaps really only work between Gamma 1 and 2. There is potentially a possibility that you could take off the top peg, and if you really wanted to, I guess, you know, customize and put other character heads on there, you could do that. But yeah, nothing too crazy here to talk about. Overall, great articulation on both figures. Glad that they did what they did with the knee joints, elbow joints. And I do actually like the ankle, but I would have preferred if they maybe did an actual ankle swivel like they did for Superhero Gohan. I'm sure somewhere along the line they maybe considered it. And I think due to, you know, fans kind of outcry for it, that's how, you know, Orange Piccolo ended up also getting the ankle swivel. But that is something that should just be standard for any figure that has, you know, shoes that are higher than their ankle, right? They should just be able to have an ankle swivel. I don't see any reason for them not to be able to do that in the future. So I guess that would be the only complaint I have when it comes to Gamma 1 and 2 on their lower bodies. Alright, very quickly, I'm just going to jump in while this is still going on. Talking about the heads, it is interesting that they didn't give Gamma 2 a head when he's about to do his final attack, right? I know that that's a possibility of getting it via a figure later. I would like that not to be the case, but it is something that they should have included, considering Gamma 1 comes with 4 heads and Gamma 2 only comes with 3. Now, I know that they threw in the Gohan stuff in there, but that shouldn't take away from you giving the character their necessary accessories. And I know you can apply that logic to Gohan as well, but it's just strange that they didn't include it for him in his own packaging. You guys let me know down below though. Is that something you guys agree with or disagree with? And now that we're back, it is time to conclude the review. Now, I'll try to keep it short, but what I'm going to say here is that I think the Gohan accessories really, at the end of the day, shouldn't have been exclusive. They should have all been like a general release thing. Whether or not they would have wanted to release a new Gohan with all the accessories or just release an accessory pack, they should have thought about that first. Because, you know, the lack of things that you're going to be, the amount of things that you're going to be missing if you didn't get these guys is just pretty crazy, right? And think about this, Pan and Broly, they both have Gohan effect pieces too. A faceplate and windy hair. You're missing out on that too. It's pretty insane that they think that's okay, right? Gamma 1 and 2 by themselves, I understand being Premium Bandai, as they weren't that popular when the movie was announced. The trailer came out and right before the movie released. After the movie released, people gravitated a little bit towards them more because they had something to connect to. But, you know, I understand that, but they should have just kind of threw that idea out the door. But they're still doing that, and it kind of sucks. But all we can do is really keep telling them not to do it, and now to focus on the kids. As they're doing it with Goku, they need to continuously do that and stop doing this exclusivity crap, especially for characters that are popular. Gohan is a popular character. His products alone would sell for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, Gamma 1 and 2, great figures, about an 8.5 out of 10. Gamma 2 should have came with his 4th head. And yeah, for Gohan's accessories, I'll rate it at about 7 out of 10. I think that the Gohan cape could have been a lot better. It doesn't hold up well when you're wanting to pose it in action, and I get that he didn't really use it that much in combat, so maybe they didn't consider that. But you've got 2 characters who have great cape articulation. It doesn't make sense that you couldn't do it for Gohan as well. And again, that exclusivity really just ruins it a little bit, but the overall quality of those accessories are cool. And yeah, that is it for the review. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Tried to make some improvements from the last one, get a little bit more in depth and in detail with stuff, as well as try to make the background a little bit cleaner and more brighter so you guys can see everything. Hopefully that worked out well. If you're not, let me know some feedback down in the comments below as we're continuing to improve in this process. But besides that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check the description if you want to join the Discord and follow TikTok, Instagram, anything like that. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.